Hi everyone once again and welcome to a new episode of Realtor Talks. I've got my colleague Sam Lange on the podcast today, and he's going to be talking to us about all things real estate and specifically waterfront properties that he specializes here in Dubai. So hi Sam, thanks for coming on.
Hi Lloyd, thanks for having me.
No problem, and it's great to have you here and good to have another of my colleagues on the podcast. Firstly, just introduce yourself to anyone listening or watching, just so they know who you are, how long you've been in Dubai, and where you specialize.
Yeah, so my name's Sam, as already Lloyd said. I think I've been in Dubai here now a little bit over 3 years. And since I've been here, I've only done water and beachfront properties. So for example, like I think the most famous one is Palm Jumeirah. And yeah, that's all I've been doing over the years. And yeah.
Okay, so how long have you lived in Dubai actually, Sam? Because I know, I didn't, obviously the people listening don't necessarily know, but your mum is also a real estate agent here in Dubai.
Yeah.
Like, how did she kind of like get you hooked into the industry, I guess, is going to be the question I'm going to ask you.
Yeah. Oh, what happened here? Sorry.
No problem.
So basically, it all started with Dubai when my sister moved here 10 years ago.
Okay.
Started working in the Jumeirah Beach Hotel, which I think you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, my parents done all kinds of real estate, construction, renovation back in Germany since over 30 years. So basically, I was just born and had no other choice than doing something in regards to real estate.
So did you know, I guess, from a young age that you'd be moving into that industry then? I'm assuming
Exactly.
the dinner table conversation was dominated by speaking out about properties, whether it's selling it or developing it.
Exactly. Like basically we had a house back in Germany, and then on the ground floor, we had our office mainly, the state agency, whatever you want to call it. My father was doing a lot of sustainability, i.e. Renovating old houses like the 1900s,
Okay.
and then bringing them into a state-of-the-art, energy-efficient building, basically.
Okay.
And I've started working in my parents' company, I think, when I was 13, 14.
Okay.
And also, like, after a year before my 15th birthday, I've also sold my first house there.
Okay. Really? So did you leave school early then to go into working?
No, I think school is normal actually.
Yeah.
But my main focus then was still doing the real estate, basically.
Okay, so you're still working on the properties, and then school was almost like your side.
On the side.
Well, it's a good thing. At least you're learning on the job, and obviously that's standing you in good stead now, which is obviously working out for you. Do you prefer working here in Dubai, or did you like the property in Germany? I don't know much about the property market there.
Yeah, I think Germany is similar to the UK or anywhere in Europe. I'd say Dubai is actually much nicer because the overall buildings, etc., are much newer, as you can guess.
Yeah.
But I think the whole thing you sell here just has some different vibe to it, as well as everything's on the beach, etc. in comparison to Germany. And when I compare the pricing, especially, what I can get for my money, let's say in Munich, Berlin, and what I can get here in Dubai, it's like two different universes. Where in Germany, most of the time, I can get like an old house from the 1960s, which we all know this 50s, 60s have been the architectural highlights in Europe.
Yeah.
So yeah, and here I can get like something super nice, almost brand new, super luxurious for the exact same price.
Yeah.
And that's just, it makes much more fun to do that job here in Dubai than compared to back home.
Yeah, there's more, I guess, sexy products you can say.
Exactly.
Stay here in Dubai. There, like, I don't know all the properties in Germany, but I'm assuming there's many like beachfront locations. Germany's not known for its.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's good. Good to know how you came here into Dubai and how you got into it at a really young age in Germany, and then obviously with the family moving it over, now you're looking to like build up more here in Dubai.
Yeah.
Are there any other markets that you'd be interested in globally as well that you think are good for property other than Dubai, or do you think Dubai is really the main place to be?
I think right now Dubai is one of the cheapest major cities in the world,
Yeah.
and that just makes it incredibly attractive in buying the property here in Dubai. But due to also my personal network, I have friends who are in the real estate business in New York, Los Angeles, London as well, also in the south of Spain or south of France. And these are also markets I'm always interested in, and I'm also collaborating with them in either they send me clients, I send them clients, because most of the time, if you've got someone who invests in the major cities in Europe or the US, they're very likely interested as well in Dubai, especially when they figure out that for the same money they can get sometimes 5 to 6 times the space what they could afford there, basically.
Definitely, there's a lot of advantages over here, and like you said, the price, it's a lot more affordable for getting something that's new and luxurious on a price per square foot basis in a really dynamic and really high-end city, you can say. I just wanted to go back. You mentioned your dad was doing sustainability on the interior design. What kind of stuff are you talking about there, like specifically that they would do? Is it to do with the building materials? Is it to do with how like water is treated? I don't know. Can you go into a bit more detail on like what kind of things?
So basically what they've always done was old houses. They've normally specialized on heating the building and keeping the building warm, because in Europe we have much more difficulty staying warm at winter.
Yeah.
So, or in general, the temperature keeping, as well as in the summer, that the building doesn't overheat drastically, and all these kinds of things. That includes special bricks you use for the exterior walls, which are temperature helping to keep the temperature inside, as well as special heating and cooling systems from the inside and ventilation systems and all that kind of things, basically.
Yeah. Do you think there are some projects, obviously we've got Sustainable City, somewhere like Signature Livings as well, which is promoting sustainability. Do you think there's still like a lack of options in the market here for Dubai? Is there a niche for that's still not really fulfilled yet?
I think in Dubai, we have one thing that it's a lot of construction around here. It's more about the design rather than the technology behind the buildings. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So there's a few who do actually do that, having temperature controlled windows and all this kind of stuff. But I think the technology that is out there hasn't yet arrived fully in Dubai.
Yeah. Why do you think that is? Do you think people are just like developers are trying to reduce the costs, and because the properties will still sell, they're just not bringing in those technologies in and materials? And do you think that's going to grow more as people demand more in the future?
Yeah, I think it's, well, in the past 5 to 10 years, I think worldwide there has been a major trend in going more into the sustainability of houses as well as buildings. But I think here in Dubai, what they focused on is hiring and getting the job done, rather than actually hiring the people with the sufficient knowledge of bringing that technology into the market. There's of course some developments here. It's starting to pick up and more here in Dubai as well now.
Yeah.
And right now what we see, for example, the trend buying old villas here in Dubai, if it's in the Palm Jumeirah, if it's in Jumeirah Golf Estates or any other development, a lot of buyers are just focusing on the old buildings, or not really buildings, but rather the villas, and completely renovating that. Basically what we had done in Germany as well.
Yeah.
So that is more of a trend which we see at the moment, and bringing also more sustainability into the market by the buyers.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And I think it's definitely going to be something that as the city grows and supply increases, then you need to differentiate yourself from other
Exactly.
properties. And there's also the added benefit of, reducing bills and that kind of stuff if you're utilizing energy through whatever it might be, solar, recycling, water, anything like that. Yeah, I can only see that trend growing. Okay, so you're a waterfront specialist, Sam. I've asked you to let me know, because I do this with all my guests, a top 5. And if you can give me a rundown of your top 5 waterfront properties that you'd recommend to anyone looking for a property here in Dubai. So yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, I'm specialized in the water and beachfront properties here in Dubai, but predominantly as well, since I'm German and there's very few German-speaking realtors here in Dubai, I mainly focus also on the German clientele buying here in the city. So that results in that I have a lot of buyers who are looking as a basically vacation home, second home from Europe, from the coldness in the winter, retirement homes as well. So they're buying villas as well as apartments here for retirement. And that basically resulted in that it's predominantly apartments which I'm selling.
Okay.
But not exclusively, right? So that's why I chose like my number 5, let's say, to be Palm Villas.
Okay.
Which on the Palm Jumeirah, the villas, like whether it's garden homes or signature villas, which is just the difference is the size basically, and they're straight on the beach, which makes it a perfect vacation home. So what most of my clients are looking for is buying as well these older villas, which are fairly well priced at the moment, and doing what we said, renovating them and making them the perfect vacation home at the end of the day, where we're working together with designers and architects, which basically bring their vision to life and just making beautiful villas on the Palm Jumeirah.
Okay, so well, apart from the obvious thing is on the fronts of the palm where the villas are, you are having direct access to the beach. But what other facilities, amenities on the palm are the main drivers of people wanting to live on the palm itself that you find from your clients?
So basically, I would always say number 1 reason to live on the palm is I think Dubai is the cheapest city to buy a villa on the beach.
Yeah.
But also, the Palm Jumeirah has developed over the years drastically. Now we have a sort of outdoor shopping, rather food and beverage center, which is called The Point. And there you have all sorts of restaurants, and no matter where you're from, you can find food from your home country, I'd say. And that basically makes it also like perfect. If you're here for vacation, you just need to hop in your car or taxi, whatever, drive 2 minutes up the road, and then you're somewhere where it's perfect to dine in. And yeah, as well as the Nakheel Mall, which has just opened a few months back, just makes it again an amazing addition to the whole concept of living on the Palm Jumeirah. Because right now with that one opening, there's a massive supermarket in there. And now if you vacation on the Palm Jumeirah, you literally do not need to leave the island. And you get all necessity, everything you want from there.
True. So yeah, you can literally do everything, go on vacation and not need to leave. It's almost like a resort, you can say, but you're staying in your own Airbnb. That's the only way I can explain it. Speaking of Airbnb or short-term rentals, do you find some of these owners who have second homes, they like to rent out their property whilst they're not there to make a little bit of extra cash from it?
Yeah, that's also a very big trend that has developed over the past 2 years, I would say, here in Dubai. There's a lot of villa owners who buy, renovate, make it their perfect and dream vacation home.
Yeah.
And then just let it also generate money while they're not in Dubai, which results in a very positive cash flow when you're not there. basically the property finances itself. You're there, you can spend the money that you have generated while you have not been there. And then when you're gone, you just enjoy the cash flow, basically.
Yeah.
Since Palm Villas or general the Palm Jumeirah, or even more broader, every beach and waterfront property enjoys high demand in short-term and Airbnb, whatever portal you use. Yeah, it's perfect then.
Okay. Oh, that's great then. So that's your number 5 on
Yeah.
the Palm Villas. What's your fourth option?
Yeah, so on the fourth, I've chosen one of the few which are not on the Palm Jumeirah, and one of the newest project on that list, which is currently under construction, is the Address JBR.
Okay.
Which is it's actually the biggest plot you could buy on JBR, which is a massive beachfront line of buildings. So they have basically the last plot of that building line, and are currently developing a very iconic structure, which looks like an oval shape with a massive infinity pool on the rooftop, which has just amazing views over the whole ocean and Palm Jumeirah on the rooftop. It's basically the owners have bought the Address brand to put on the building and also operate it, but itself is not from the developer who's built the other Imars, which resulted in a massive spike in quality as well as sustainability, actually what we discussed earlier. So the layouts are very efficient. I've recently had a German gentleman there, and he was like, well, this is how we build in Germany. He had nothing to complain. And that's why I always like taking people to that development, as they've really thought it through, I would say. And it also makes, again, the perfect vacation home if you like the city life of the Marina JBR, but you still want to have your private beach and all the facilities you can have in a high-end hotel.
Definitely. So yeah, so you're getting those 5-star amenities that come from the famous Address brand. And then for anyone who doesn't know or doesn't live in Dubai, the Jumeirah Beach Residence, or JBR, is like the real premier strip of beachfront that's been popular with tourists in the past, and still is the most popular place where people go on holiday now. On the beachfront, there's plentiful restaurants, hotels, bars, all kinds of entertainment that you can do. So again, it's a really popular waterfront location, like Sam is explaining. Within the property, I know that they have access to a private beach, which is very important. But what other amenities are really really good selling points of that property in Address JB?
Yeah, basically the building itself is again something I would compare to the Palm Jumeirah itself. You do not need to leave the building if you don't want to while you vacation there. You have 5-star restaurants, you have all types of cuisines, you have a beautiful rooftop terrace with pool, as well another restaurant, you have gym, sauna, everything basically you can ask for, and that has been very popular with investors as well as a lot of end users who are looking to move into the property actually once it's done. The good thing is it's very much on track, and it's well funded as well. So the project is just as well something that you can always full-heartedly recommend to anyone trying or looking to invest in Dubai.
Definitely. And you've mentioned that it's off plan and it's on track. When is it scheduled to complete, so people know? And I know that they have a really good payment plan on it as well.
Exactly. So they're looking to have the whole project completed by the end of this year and handed over then as well. So I don't know if you've driven past the Address in the past months, but every week you've driven past it, it just looks completely different.
Yeah.
And that shows the speed of construction. And yeah, it's, I think, the best payment plan you can ask for right now in Dubai. You just put 15% down now to book the unit, and then you only pay the remaining 85% once you receive your key. So on handover, you only pay the rest. For example, because that enables you that you don't need to fully put your capital in one spot without it generating any sort of cash flow, because at the same time you can try using that money and generate a bit more cash flow, and then use that money again to fulfill the 100% payment.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so that's a thing that many investors worry about, is tying up their money when they could be using it elsewhere, which might be an issue as well in the times at the moment, that people are looking not to spend too much cash. So it's a good option for people looking for a waterfront property. I had one other question on Address JBR actually. I know there's part of it which is service residences and part of it which are purely residential. Can you just explain the difference between the two apartments?
Basically, since the tower has an O shape, one side of the O is residential and the other side is serviced apartment hotel.
Yeah.
That basically means the residential part has much lower service charges, which is perfect for someone who just wants to live there or invests in any sort of real estate here in Dubai. Then the service residences give you all hotel amenities with Wi-Fi, telephone. They come fully furnished. They have cleaning once a week and all these types of things, as well as a handyman comes for free, which is all included in the service charges, which of course is a bit higher, but perfect for someone who wants to basically just have a home away from home and just stay there while they vacation in Dubai. And when they're not there, they can just give it to the developer and they will do short-term rental with it as well.
Okay.
And then it generates again cash flow, which is both very attractive.
Yeah, exactly. So when you have a second home, it's good to still not just leave it sat there, and especially with the service residences, it's being taken care of. So it's being cleaned, it's being maintained. So it's not just sitting there and gathering dust in a kind of way that you might have with other properties. Okay, thanks for that, Sam. What's your number 3 then? I'm interested. The 2 good picks so far.
Number 3 is again on the Palm Jumeirah.
Palm Jumeirah, yeah.
The project, I'd say, if you take any client there, they just fall in love straight away. So it's called Serenia Residences. Mm-hmm. You will probably have been there already and seen a lot of agents in Dubai doing videos there as well. As basically, when you drive on the Palm Jumeirah has a crescent around it. And it's pretty much on the far end to the right, which makes it very, very peaceful. So you see the city of Dubai, you see all the buzz, but you don't hear it. You're just fully enclosed in your green oasis. Since Serenia basically consists of 3 buildings, and they've done full landscaping throughout the whole development. Mm-hmm. Little waterways, little waterfalls, tennis courts, mini golf, children's play areas, everything to have a very much a green oasis on the beach, which is very rare here in Dubai. And yeah, the quality of the whole development is just outstanding for that price range. And you have full infinity swimming pool with a sort of crystal lagoon-like feature, a artificial beach on the infinity swimming pool, but then you just go past it and then you have actual grass on the ground mm-hmm. with where you can put your lounge chairs, and then there's the actual beach you can just go swimming in, where there's a volleyball court, and yeah, part of the gym as well. You have a very big lap pool if you like to swim laps. So basically it's just a full fusion of every type of pool you like or every type of water you like to be in. And yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think it's a great project. I've been there quite a few times, and it's always, whenever you're showing someone on the Palm, if they're looking for a property, whether it's they're living here or a second home, it has to be on the short list. I think it's just it's like living in a hotel resort. It's the only way I can describe it, because yeah, like you said, the greenery, the water, and all the amenities, including the tennis court, the gym, everything is spectacular, as well as being just slightly out the way, so that you have that peace and tranquility but you're still on the palm and near to a lot of hotels and stuff, which are also really popular, and entertainment is just on your doorstep as well.
Like, for example, next door there's the Anantara Hotel, which you can actually, the development has made a deal with the hotel, and you can actually have the room service, the cleaning services, you can all avail from the hotel. And you can just walk over the beach and you're straight next door on the beach bar to just enjoy a shisha or cold beer when it was still possible and will be possible again in the future.
It's true. I think it's the Waldorf Astoria on the other side as well. Am I correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
You have two top hotels, then the Rixos as well, just 5 minutes down the road, with a very nice beach club. And basically, again, you can just stay there, since the hotel also gives you food delivery or grocery deliveries. So again, something you just don't need to leave the building.
Yeah, so that's why it's perfect if you're on holiday, you can stay in your own place, and then the joy is you can literally put your toes in the sand and walk up and down the beach like you were on holiday in Europe, for example. You can literally walk down and enjoy all the restaurants and the bars along that beachfront. So what's your favorite unit in there, Sam? I know they have like these kind of half-floor penthouses. They've got I think there's 4-floor penthouses at the top. Is it? Which one would you go for if you're looking for a property yourself?
Yeah. So basically, I actually have a client living in the development, which has now turned out to be a friend over the years. And I would actually go for exactly his unit he has bought,
okay,
which is one of these half-floor, 3-bedroom penthouses with almost 5,000 square foot built-up area, which just makes it just how you would imagine Dubai living. Grand living spaces, very big bedrooms. You have a second kitchen if you like to do some heavy cooking that has a lot of spices, let's say. And just the good thing there is you have a full wraparound balcony on the living room, which basically results in that the developer again has done there. This is maybe the first project really that has implemented that energy efficiency and sustainability with the windows that they have built in. So what they've done is that the whole facade is just windows. There's no real metal or concrete or anything that gives a facade. So all windows are fully tempered, everything. So normally when you just go on the balcony, you can touch the glass from the outside and it's very hot. And from the inside it's beautiful and just cold and just nice. That results also again in very low payments per month on your electricity.
Yeah.
And the full thing, the whole living room, you can fully open all the windows. So it's a full sliding door, which just opens and extends the living room or merges the living room with the balcony.
I think that's
picturesque, the view.
100%. I think that's a key feature of Serenia are those windows, the full height. So the properties are already really bright. It's a lot of light colors inside, so it's really spacious. And then obviously the light coming in through the full height windows just adds to that. And then it kind of draws in the view. So I think I know the unit you're talking about, where you're looking out over the palm and towards the water and over towards like the marina skyline as well. So it is, like you say, what you'd imagine living in Dubai is like. You have that tranquility, but then also you have the city, like the skyscrapers in front of you as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Sam. So thanks for that, Serenia. What can you top Serenia with? I'm interested to see what your top two are.
So on number 2, I have one development where I'd say 1 in 3 transactions is going through myself as well. It's the 5 hotel and residences.
Okay.
That basically is, I would say it has a lot of similarities in terms of design with Serenia, but the whole concept is vice versa.
Yeah.
So that is basically you buy and live in that development, or even invest, since there's hotel rooms you can buy, and then be part of the hotel revenue. So you basically paid out as a profit share basis, on a profit share basis. And you basically just buy and live there. If when you vacation in Dubai, you want to have, let's say, fun, and you just want to have action.
Yeah.
Since the Five has established itself over the past years as being the place if you want to have an amazing night out, if you want to have an amazing brunch with an after party on the beach or at the famous Penthouse restaurant and bar, where you just, I think every time you go on Instagram, you see someone on the Penthouse in the Five
Yeah.
making shots with the background of the vast sea and then the Dubai Marina. And yeah, they've done incredible marketing, especially with a lot of celebrities. And yeah, that's my number 2.
Okay.
If you like, if you like to do anything exciting, that's the place to be.
Yeah, well, I think that's definitely the case. Like you said, it's like Instagram. Every single person you see is in the penthouses or around the pool, and it's always busy, isn't it? Obviously,
Yeah.
not this particular time, but but generally, you there won't be a weekday, even a different time in the year where the place is not busy, and it's perfect, ideally for if you like coming on holiday or living in a place that has a lot of action. And you don't necessarily want to live in a skyscraper or in downtown, but you want somewhere that's still busy and lots of stuff on your doorstep. It's a great location to have that, but on a beachfront setting. So that's why the Five is super popular. Do you see a different demographic of the people who live in that in the Five compared to, say, Serenia? Is it a younger demographic who are buying properties there? Yeah.
There's I would say it's a lot of the younger demographic, let's say 25 to 35.
Yeah.
But also there's some, I had a client which was 60 years old, and every weekend he goes down with his wife to party on the pool. So and with the view, I would say. And, so there's also these people he lives in Miami the other time of the year in the summer, and comes here in the winter. So he basically is into the buzz of pool parties and everything. And as well, I would say if you are into, let's say, house music, techno, all this kind of electronic music, the Five again is like the perfect place to be, in the Penthouse, when he could still fly all over the world. They were, every weekend there was a very nice DJ from Europe, US, where basically the hub of the whole electronic music scene is. And they always invite. Now they actually have a live stream of their weekly DJ sets on their Instagram. Since it's hard to get there, they just keep the party alive, let's say.
Yeah.
And everyone can stream it from their Instagram account at home and party there. And so that's again maybe an example that it's a perfect party hotel when you can still do it at home over your Instagram.
But eventually, of course, everything will go back to normal. But yeah, it's a great property location, right at the base of the trunk of the palm as well. So it's very easy to get to for anyone who wants to get in and out of Dubai as well. And also there's obviously on the beachfront as well, we're talking about Serenia being able to walk along the beach, but that's also coming more to where the Five is located as well, right? There's restaurants and licensed cafes and stuff along the bar now on that part of the palm.
Yeah, what they've done last year was, it was completed end of the year. They have basically extended the beach and done a very nice Miami-style beach walk across the whole trunk in front of the Five. With every, let's say, 100 meters, there is a restaurant bar, which results in that you just have a very nice setting. Being in the Five, you can party in the Five, drink in the Five, but also if you just want to have a nice walk over a very lively and energetic beach walk, you just go out step one foot on the beach, and then you just walk across the whole trunk and can walk past other hotels and just enjoy life, basically.
Yeah, so it's a beautiful place to live or to vacation, as it might be. Okay, perfect. So we've gone through the other four. What's your number one, Sam? I'm wondering what that's going to be.
So number one, I would say a lot of friends and colleagues identify me with that building as well, is the Bulgari residences on the Jumeirah Bay Island, which again, I would say maybe is, again, very opposite to the five, but also very different to the Serenia. That whole development has been designed by outstanding architects from Italy, with, of course, the brand of Bulgari and the Bulgari resort as well on the island. How you can maybe imagine that development is that there is 6 residential buildings with apartments, and they're in a U shape with a very big and the only Bulgari yacht club in the world, 5 golden anchors and beautiful restaurants and a cigar bar where I normally go to every Friday.
If you look at Sam's Instagram, you're going to see a lot of photos of him at the Bulgari.
Exactly. On Instagram, you'll see a lot of cigar sessions on. So yeah, that's basically, that whole development drives on 1 or maybe 2 factors. It's exclusivity and security. So this is basically, they don't do a lot of marketing like all the other places here in Dubai. They want to keep the exclusivity and the whole prestige of the development. There's also 15 mansions only, which are all waterfront and very nice, again, very limited. So, in all these apartments, you can just avail the services of the hotel again. And restaurants, there's just a few restaurants on that island, but the quality of the food you get there is just outstanding. So when I was there the first time, I'd say it was the first time I actually felt that I was eating Italian food again. Okay. Which the Italian restaurant and the yacht club is just amazing. And the whole development, as I said, is running on exclusivity and privacy and all that things, which also attract very high carat individuals from all around the world, which I cannot mention here, but it just gives a very exclusive vibe, since it's a whole private island and you drive over it, over a 200-meter bridge over the ocean. And yeah, you have basically, I would say it's one of the only developments where you see the full downtown skyline and the full sea view from it's just amazing, I would say.
Yeah, well, like you said, it is very exclusive, and I mean that is really the word to describe the development and the Jumeirah Bay Island as a whole. And for non-GCC nationals, it's really the best place to invest on the Jumeirah waterfront, isn't it? There's obviously Pearl Jumeirah, you've got La Mer, but I think Jumeirah Bay and Bulgari especially is the top end of what's on offer along the waterfront in Jumeirah. Most of the other waterfront developments are closer to the palm end of town that we've already gone through today. In terms of the development, do you think it's just what do you think makes it so high end? Is it, I think for me it's the construction materials and the little details that are in the development, but what's your opinion on that?
So every time I take a client there, even it doesn't matter where they're from, they just love the place. So it comes down from the details. It comes down that they actually used wooden floors in the apartments as well as villas, which is very rare here actually in Dubai, which give the whole development a very warm and homely feeling. And recently I had a local gentleman actually I viewed the mansions with, and he was saying the whole design, it just reminds him of prime central London when he's in Mayfair or wherever. Just reminds him of the exclusivity and the whole design brand. And he just feels, let's say, special when he's in the apartments. Basically, I would always say there's of course very prime areas which everyone knows, Emirates Hills, Palm Jumeirah Villas. But how I would describe the whole island of Jumeirah Bay, where there's also plots you can buy and construct your own villa with design guidelines that I would say next time I take you there, the villas which are being constructed there are by far the most beautiful in all of Dubai. This is the master developer has put in very nice and very aesthetic design guidelines. And the villas are just absolutely stunning. But having said that, the development, I would say, describes as being for someone who enjoys, let's say, the finer things in life, is very, let's say, wealthy, but is not someone of those people who like to drive their Lamborghini and rev it in front of, for example, the Five Hotel. And it runs on the exclusivity, and everyone there, I would say almost everyone knows each other, and it's a very closed and exclusive community, which results in that is not a product you can be someone and flash around with, but someone that is actually enjoying it. And like every apartment, every villa comes with built-in wine fridges, which also says something. And
so it is, like you said, high net worth individuals, but people who don't like to shout about it. That's the way that I'd explain about it. There's no better place in the city, I think, to just overlook the marina and just enjoy like a drink watching the sunset. That's if there's a place that I'd say in Dubai, that's definitely the most luxurious place to just sit and enjoy that kind of experience.
And the yachts as well, which are there. It's just absolutely stunning. Like recently when I took on a new listing there was a yacht. I can't remember exactly the name, what it's called, but it was a yacht that had basically three. It looked, when you're looking from the back, it looks like if you drew a bird, you know? So I think it was a 3 catamaran. And when I looked it up, that yacht alone costed 29.8 million euros.
Okay.
So that is basically something to see what kind of people actually live on that island. And the whole yachts which are being displayed there, not really displayed, since when you live there you have your own yacht bay, but the sizes of the yachts compared to the other yacht harbors you have here in Dubai, it's just something different. And you see it as well on the clientele living there and having their yachts parked there.
Okay. And so obviously there's the exclusivity, the location, everything. For the owners, they can use the amenities in the Bulgari hotel as well. What are those amenities that they can use there in the hotel itself?
So the owners can more use actually the yacht club, which is actually a little bit nearer, I would say. They get discounts in the hotel and all this sort of thing. But the building itself have their own spas, gym and swimming pools, which are all super high end. So you get like nicely, in your building, you get a nicely warmed and hot and cold towels to when you're entering. You get water, you get apples, you get bananas, every sort of fruits you need, as well as some antioxidants and all this kind of stuff. But then on the yacht club, there is also, I would say maybe a sort of beach club, how you would imagine it from all the others, like Nikki Beach, for example, which is also on the neighboring island of Palm Jumeirah. But how I would maybe describe that whole yacht club is more an executive beach club. So you go there to network. If you're a member of the yacht club, you have your own conference rooms, you have your own part of the yacht club where you can mingle with those who are also residents and have availed the membership of the cigar lounge. And this is a whole just exclusive and more of an executive high net worth individual level of being in that whole development.
Yeah, definitely. I think what speaks volumes is it has like its own library where you can, pick out books and just sit and enjoy whilst you're enjoying the view and the tranquility outside in the cooler months. Okay, Sam, that's a really good shout on the Bulgari. to be honest, I'm not surprised on that, knowing from what we've spoken about before about the that area. So thanks for that. Completely different thing. If we weren't talking about waterfront properties, what would be your favorite property in Dubai or development?
Very good question, actually. Non-waterfront.
Yeah, non-waterfront. Obviously, we've gone through waterfront, so I just wanted one, just off the top of your head. What would be
On
your
the top
favorite?
of my head, non-waterfront. I personally really like the Jumeirah Golf Estates, actually.
Okay.
There's a development called Hillside, which has the design is very contemporary with your own private garage on the underground. So it's just, again, a very nice development. I would have said District 1, but District 1 sort of is waterfront, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's not waterfront, but it's waterfront. So, so yeah, I would say actually the Hillside at Jumeirah Golf Estates is one of my favorite developments, if I would say non-waterfront.
Okay, we get that answer from a lot of people. Most agents in the city who've seen it do tend to love Hillside as an option to stay in themselves. Okay, and final thing I wanted to ask you is, obviously we're in this kind of pandemic at the moment, as they call it. What do you think the effect is going to be on the property market if we're looking? I'm not talking about in the next few months. I'm talking in the mid to long term. What's your opinion on what's gonna happen?
I've spoken about that with a lot of people recently, clients, friends, family. And what I'm seeing and what I'm thinking will happen here is right now, Dubai is establishing itself again as what they've used to be, as being the safe haven of the world, whether it's in terms of private wealth, i.e. tax-free country, but as well as the security and the health facility which Dubai has to offer. So I think, I haven't spoken to a lot of clients of mine who are currently in places like Mallorca, Ibiza, Germany, wherever. They're kind of unhappy of what the European governments are currently doing and how they're handling this whole crisis, I would say. And they see how much advanced or how advanced Dubai is handling that situation. And what I'm seeing right now is a lot of clients, friends of mine, who are just saying, as soon as flights are allowed again, they're currently selling their homes in Spain, Mallorca, Germany, Italy, and they just want to get out of there and establish their companies here in Dubai as being one of the safe havens of the world, which I would see in the mid to long term, there will be a very big population growth here in Dubai, resulting of that pandemic, actually.
Okay, that's an interesting answer. And I am seeing the same kind of trends as well, I would say, where people are just waiting to travel at the moment. Obviously, with the restrictions, it's making it difficult. But having seen the way people have reacted, other governments, they were maybe on the fence before about, oh, should I move over here or relocate? And now this has kind of affirmed that decision. And they're really looking forward to being able to do it. They're just waiting to be able to move and travel, like you said, in order to go ahead with that process. So it's really interesting that you think that. Do you think that will be the same kind of effect on, I know you deal with a lot of like high net worth individuals, but do you think like the general middle class will also be feeling in like the same way? And will they be able to move like that? Well, what do you reckon the trend is going to be there? Because we do have a lot of family communities coming up, which are for the normal public.
I think actually it's very attractive. Like normally you can always talk about the rich and wealthy, high net worth individuals. But what I'm seeing, like friends, family, and clients who've approached me in the couple of last weeks, is the middle class is also very, I think they're even more fed up, let's say, with what's happening in Europe and how the government is reacting. Because if you're rich and wealthy, you can always try finding a way around certain things. But the middle class is more and more annoyed with that fact, what's happening. And these are actually the people which I'm seeing will be moving to Dubai, establishing their family businesses, which are not like massive companies of 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 employees, but rather like 10, 20 employees, or even less, even people who are just self-employed and do their work in a one-man show, basically. That's basically what I'm seeing predominantly will be moving out here to Dubai.
Yeah, I think that's definitely going to be the case. The fine line is going to be how they manage the economy and making sure businesses can be created easily and people can get visas to stay here, because that's been always maybe a bit of a sticking point in terms of increasing the population, because people have to have a visa or residency visa to live here. But I think if Dubai takes that opportunity to allow people to move here more easily, which they already have been taking the steps in the last 12 to 24 months. If they take that opportunity now, we could see a lot more demand and a lot more people moving here into the city.
Definitely. And that will also, again, if these individuals move here to Dubai, that will create jobs again here for anyone else. And that will, again, be the ones filling these new developments which are coming up in the affordable range all over Dubai at the moment.
Okay, perfect, Sam. Thanks for that today. Thanks for going through your top 5 waterfront properties. It's been really insightful, and I hope really it was really knowledgeable for and a lot of information for anyone who's listening today. Just before you go, can you just give out your social media or any other accounts that people might want to follow you on, so that you can keep in touch with Sam? And if you want to inquire about any of the developments that he's spoken about today, you can get in touch with him.
So my Instagram is Sam C. Lange. I don't know if you can pronounce my surname, but and actually the same name on LinkedIn too, Sam C. Lange. Maybe you can write it somewhere here. But yeah, so there you can happily get into contact with me, and we'll sort it out from there.
Okay. If you're watching this on YouTube or any of my social media, you should be able to see it in the description. I'll put his contact details there. Otherwise, thanks for coming on this show, and please look out for more episodes of Realtor Talk. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.